Yeah, you get that automatic.
Today's the most painful day of the year. I'm getting a fitness test done today, and it'll be really interesting to see where my leg shapes up now after I've had my operation, and what it was like 12 months ago as well. Although I like to have a laugh on this channel, fitness training is something that I take really seriously, as it's a big part of my job, and it's something I really enjoy doing, something I'm passionate about. So I'll take you through the process from start to finish of what it's like having a fitness test, what we do with the results, and my training plan going forwards from here. So we are on our way to Loughborough University for a fitness test today. And yeah, Taz has got the enjoyment of watching. He's the cameraman for the day.
Taxi.
And taxi, because I'll probably need a taxi home after this. People always ask me what a motorbike racer gets up to. I think our lives are quite different.
Yeah, what? Mine and yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good at doing all. You don't like doing all.
Yeah.
But I'm good at it, so that's why I like doing it. Should I talk you through a day? Of what
Yeah,
I
go
do?
on, talk me through a day.
So I get up around 8, half 8, and then that sounds awful. And then
He's already lost 2.5 hours to me.
well, my day varies on what training I've got. So I could have 1 training session, I could have 2 training sessions. So say I had a 2 training session, because that's my busiest day. Then so from 8, half 8, I'll maybe have breakfast, potter about till 10. then I'll have a 10 o'clock coffee. Then that's about half an hour, depending how talkative mum and dad are. When that ends, I'll go in the gym. I sound like fish in a rice cake, man.
I'll have fish and a rice cake. At 10 o'clock, I'll have fish. At 12 o'clock, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
And then I'll have fish. And then I'll have lunch, fish and a rice cake. Till I'm ready, till I'm like pumped myself up to get back in the gym, because normally the cycles are quite hard. And then I'm like, right, okay, it's 4 o'clock and I don't know what to do now.
Go on, do a skid. Try and do a skid down there.
I don't know if I'm in space, but I'm just going with it. You nervous?
Yeah, I am nervous.
Oh, video, yeah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm just here at Loughborough today.
This feels amazing. Good thing is, I can't breathe already.
Everything you got. Means it's a good test, and like I say, we got your heart rate up to 1.8, probably a bit higher than that, 1.82, which is pretty close to what we've had before. So this test is Vo2 Max. So fundamentally what we've done on the bike is just increase wattage 5 watts every 15 seconds. So that's designed to push from being relatively easy to fundamentally maxing out your aerobic system. So these 2 lines, you've got the blue lines, your oxygen uptake, the red line is your carbon dioxide being produced. So the ratio between these 2 gives us a bit of an indication of what's the main fuel for your exercise. So down this end, it's mostly aerobics. This is when Taylor was at about 100 watts, so nice and easy. When you start to see this crossover and you start to see carbon dioxide being above your oxygen, that's where you're switching over your mostly carbohydrate intensive, you're mostly in that anaerobic zone. And what we try and look for in this is when we start to see this blue line plateau off. So obviously we started to see that towards this bit, and obviously we were pushing so hard that eventually it started going down the other way. But that's what we were trying to find, a nice plateau. So that's basically what Vo2 Max is, the most amount of oxygen you can get in and use in your body in a minute. So this area here is what we're looking at to try and find. So it's a good test in terms of that. So this is lactate threshold test, so 4-minute stages. Last minute of that we'll be looking at obviously O2, CO2 again by the gas analyzer, but your heart rate, we'll be taking a blood lactate and looking at RPE as well, so basically how hard you're finding it. We know what your max intensity was from that Vo2 Max, but how much you can tap into that at different thresholds. So your top threshold, that's like what you can sustain race intensity. So they kind of give 2 different markers of, can you be there from Friday to Sunday? Can you be there last 10 minutes on the race? So those are the 2 marks that we get out of this one. So we normally be 6 stages-ish. See where you're at and see how you compare.
Really?
Good, isn't it? Sweet, mate.
I'd say thank you, but I'm not sure.
I mean, you're always, when people are in here, they're like, oh thanks, I'm like, well you don't mean it, do you? You're just like...
We're on the way back from Loughborough Uni now. Although it was pretty horrible at the time, I do quite enjoy testing myself, and I'll get the results very soon, so I can go through the results. Hopefully Taz has a fitness test soon, so I can film that instead of me just looking red and sweaty. And once I get the results back, I'll talk you all through them.
It's now a few days later and I've got the results back from Loughborough Uni, and it's quite interesting seeing the difference from now to 12 months previous. The other thing I didn't show you that we do with Loughborough University is a critical power test, it's called, where basically you go as hard as you can for 3 minutes and they take an average of the power that you can hold for 3 minutes. Then you have a 40-minute rest, do another test at the end of the 40 minutes where you go as hard as you can for 12 minutes. And those numbers then gauge the training that they give us, so we do interval training based on those numbers. I forgot to film that test, but it's pretty much the same as what you've just watched anyway. So my Vo2 Max results came back, and interestingly, my lactate threshold, which was the second test, was pretty much the same, if not better, than what it was 12 months ago. And that basically comes down to having a better base in my winter training. So I've done a lot more steadier, longer rides this winter, which has improved that. My Vo2 Max was slightly less than what it was this time last year. And I guess a large portion of that is down to the fact that I've not been able to train that hard because of my leg, so I haven't been able to do big max efforts, which is what pushes your Vo2 Max up higher. There's a little bit of work to do there, but that's good because now we know the areas I need to work on. The thing I've got loaded up here is my critical power numbers, which we do that test a lot more regularly, and I've got the results all the way from January last year to January this year, and I'll bring this screen up here so you can see it. So you can see here in January last year, these are the 3 numbers. So for 3 minutes I could hold 365 watts, for 12 minutes I could hold 262 watts, which are written down here. Then I did the pre-season training with Loughborough, and you can see all my results went up. So by April I was at 384 watts for 3 minutes and 287 watts for 12 minutes, which gives you your critical power number. Then, unfortunately, I broke my leg just after here, so I never did the test again. And then you can see the difference it made by not being able to train properly all year. So then it came to the end of the season, and I did a critical power test in December. And you can see I lost 80 watts off my 3-minute time and a similar amount off my 12-minute time. So this was just after my operation, so that gave us a good baseline of where I was after my operation. And then behind the scenes I've been training quite hard at home, and you can see the difference it made. I did a test in January and I went up 30 watts and on my 3 minute and 30 watts on my 12 minute. And then again in February I've done another test, and in this short amount of time you can see how I've managed to bring back my 3 minute power and my 12 minute power. Now compared to what they were in January last year, I'm actually ahead on my 12 minute time. I'm 286 watts now, whereas last year was 262. So that's the reason we get fitness tested, because we can keep a track of exactly how we're getting on. I find this stuff fascinating, and it's really handy working with Loughborough because they give us these results. From this point now, we've realised that my Vo2 Max is the area to work on, so we'll be doing a lot more harder, shorter interval sessions to bring that up to where it should be. And my 12 minute power was quite good, so we'll just carry on doing the work we're doing with that. And hopefully in another couple of months' time we'll do another test before the season starts and see the improvements that I make. Being fitter on a motorbike basically just means that you've got a lot more brain power to think about what you're doing. If you're tired, then your brain function starts slowing, and it means you make wrong decisions on the track, or it just makes the job a lot harder. So that was the reason we do fitness training, and I hope that gave you an insight into the work that goes on behind the scenes. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back next week with another video.